allegations of sexual misconduct the officers were told that it was being investigated by the agencies where it occurred. They kept the peace, and the child went with her father. And that was the extent of the child custody exchange. This video that surfaced today is the first video that I've seen and that our officers have seen. Corporal Plummer was called the following day after the father took the child to the hospital and was making allegations that the injury occurred during the child custody exchange. That's under investigation. That's the allegations of sexual misconduct. We have reached out to both the law enforcement agencies where both the parents live, and the allegations have been under investigation for some time. We absolutely take child custody or child's allegations of sexual misconduct against children very seriously.
Okay.
Does that answer some of your questions?
I understand. Yes, I understand why you're saying those things. And all those things being said, being that they are police officers, thus mandated reporters, why would they then just say, oh, well, I trust that the county across the way is taking care of this? Why would they not call a sane nurse and take her to be examined? Why is there no culpability on them? They're mandated reporters, correct?
The child made no outcry to our officers. This was the parties that were involved, the mother and father that were there, that were present, that were telling us that it was under investigation.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Outcry that occurred.
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt you there because I'm going to disagree with you because I've seen the video of the outcry, which is why I'm crying out to you now. She is in a police car. She's in a police car speaking to a female. Yes. She is in our
car.
Yes.
I've not seen that video. It's in our car making that outcry to our officers.
Yes.
I did not see that.
Yes. I just spoke with the other. So when you call your number, by the way, your number is listed. It's the non-emergency police number. Not a number to like leave you a message. In order to get in touch with you, you have to call the non-emergency police number online. I'm just saying like on your website, that's the number. So when I call that number and I get non-emergency police, they then tell me, oh, you need to call the district where she lives. This is not us. So I then do. I wait for another 30 minutes. I speak to an officer who then explains to me, puts me on hold for 20 minutes, then comes back and says, I reviewed the video you're speaking of. Those officers are Lacey Lady Lake View Police. You need to call you. That's why I'm calling you. The video I'm referring to, she is in a police car being questioned by a police officer. The officers...
Ms. Burns, I've not seen that video. I have not seen... The one I'm talking, the only video that I've seen is the one where she's in the car that appears to be a white male in front seat and a female dragging her out of the car.
Yes, no. I would not have called... I would not have called for that. That's a domestic disturbance. I would not have called for that. I am calling...
That's the only video that I have
okay.
seen. I have not seen the other video that you're talking about.
Then let me take this opportunity to inform you because you're going to end up seeing it. And I would like to know, while I have you on the phone, why it was handled this way. She's in a police car. Let me explain. She's in a police car. There's a female police officer in the front who says to her, she says... This is my life. Why don't you believe me? The officer then says, I do believe you. I want to know what's happening in a very condescending way. And she says, the girl, the child says, stop. Because of the way the officer is speaking to her, she says, who touches you, honey? I really want to know. Exactly like that. The child then says, Mr. Jake. She says, where does he touch you? She says, you know. The officer says, no, where? She says, down there. He touches me down there. And my mom is in the room and knows and doesn't do anything about it. And the officer says, your mom's there. And she says, please let me finish. You haven't seen this yet, so how can you speak on it if you don't know? Let me finish, please.
I can ask if I can.
Just let me finish. Let me finish. It's hard for me, as someone who myself went through this, it is hard for me to retell it to you. So let me finish, please. The officer then says, where does he touch you? She says, he touches me down there. And she says, I'm sure he's not touching you. And she said, sometimes I wake up and there's blood in my underwear. Now, that being said, and that is a video, I'm not making it up. It's a video. If you haven't seen it, that's because you didn't do your due diligence before you called me. But it exists. My question is, and it's your police officers. So my question now is, and you can answer this regardless of the situation, because I want to know, is that protocol when an outcry happens for the victim to then be not taken, a sane nurse should be called, the child should then be taken for an examination. That was not done. I want to know, is that because the officers acted inappropriately, or is it because they were just more concerned about the custody situation, or is that your protocol? That you just say, okay, well, the next county over's got this, so we'll just let them handle it, and if they don't do it, oh well. That's what I want to know.
I listen to you talk. May I talk?
Absolutely.
Would you please describe the female officer?
You do not see the female officer. It is taken from it is taken from the position of the person standing beside her in the back seat. You never see the officer. You only hear her.
But you can hear a female officer?
Yes, yes. It is a female officer.
Because we only have one, and that's a lieutenant who does not go out on calls. We only have one female officer.
Well, that seems awfully convenient because I watched the video and I'm guaranteed. It's.
The car, do you see the officers? Are they wearing uniforms that say Lacey Lakeview on them?
The police car says Lacey Lakeview. The police car. How do you think I got your number? The police car that she's sitting in says Lacey Lakeview on it. The police car. It's a white car with black writing that says Lacey Lakeview Police.
They could have easily had the video from the call that went out that I'm describing. They could have videoed the cars anywhere. Do you see the uniforms on the officers? Are they Lacey Lakeview officers?
You don't see the officers. You only hear the officers. And side note, the way that you're like questioning me right now, kind of like the way that they're questioning her. I'm not lying to you. This video exists. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's not relevant. I just would like to ask you, what is your protocol? Again, that's all I want to know. In the situation where, let's just say, for hypothetical sake, that they are in a police car and it is one of your officers and a victim who's 8 years old says, I'm being touched by my mom's boyfriend, and insists, even after being told, oh, we don't play games like that. No, it's real. It's really happening to me. What is your protocol to handle that? That is my question.
If the patrol officers get that allegation, which like you're describing, they immediately contact our CID detectives. We have 2 CID, criminal investigation detectives. They will come to the scene. They will take the child and get a sane exam done. That's the protocol.
But that wasn't done, which is why I'm on the phone with you now. The fact that you don't know about this video, the fact that you don't know that this occurred, that's why I'm on the phone with you now.
And that's what I'm trying to get across to you, though, is that this particular child, my understanding is that there's at least 6 different videos that are out there on YouTube that this child's father, who has a GoFundMe account that's raised some $22,000,
to get a lawyer. That GoFundMe is to get a lawyer so he can fight for custody, because clearly y'all are not doing what you should. If the girl is saying in front of officers and y'all are saying, oh, well, that's not our problem, this is a custody dispute, and she ends up staying with the mother that night, no one investigated, no one called the CID, no one called Department of Social Services, nothing else was done. That's not right.
I'm trying to tell you what I do not believe that is our officers that you're seeing that outcry being made to. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to investigate it. I'm going to look into it. This just surfaced this morning, this Sunday morning. I'm trying to explain to you. I'm sorry that